I didn't want you to think that I forgot about you. I have been a little MIA the past few days. I've had a lot. Life has been lifing. So yes, it can be confusing if you don't know, if you don't understand. Lots of people get confused. So a 3-day qualifying stay for SNF. All right, so I'm going to explain this based on if you have traditional Medicare and also if you have like an Advantage replacement plan, Medicare replacement plan. So if you go to the hospital and they don't actually admit you, and maybe they keep you in an observation bed in the emergency room, that's not considered any form of an overnight stay according to insurance, okay? Basically, they kept you for observation, but they never admitted you, which happens all the time. So you would actually need to be formally admitted to the hospital, not under observation, for 3 midnights. 3 midnights. If they keep you in observation for 2 nights and they admit you on the 3rd day, doesn't qualify. Your status at that hospital has to be an actual inpatient admission, and it has to reflect that for 3 midnights. Once you've had 3 midnights in the hospital, basically that skilled facility is going to check that qualifying hospital stay to make sure you were inpatient for 3 midnights and then bring you in without authorization if you have traditional Medicare. And they'll check your days to see if you've been anywhere before. That's a whole nother video. But days 1 through 20 are covered at 100% by Medicare. If you don't have a secondary insurance, your copays would start on day 21. If you do have a secondary, then of course the skilled facility would bill a secondary. But I hope that helps kind of shed some light on what an actual 3-day qualifying stay for SNF actually entails. Now, if you're dealing with a Medicare replacement plan, you don't necessarily have to have 3 midnights, but what you do have to have is the hospital has to, A, be willing to keep you long enough for the insurance company to actually review the updates that have been sent in to them to make sure that they see a need. It doesn't matter what we see. They have to make sure that they see a need to actually pay for rehab services in a skilled facility. So let's just say, here's an example. Somebody falls, and they've fallen routinely, they go into the hospital, nothing's broken, but you know that they're having some issues at home. They don't want home health because they've had home health before and they didn't really see the benefit. They'd rather go inpatient. So basically, that hospital has to have enough documentation to send over to the skilled facility of your choice for them to send over to the insurance company and say, hey, we're looking at possible skilled placement for this patient. Can you provide us a pre-authorization? They will either review that documentation and say no. They'll review it and say, yep, we have a need. Or they'll review it and say, we need additional information. In which then the me's of the world would go back to the hospital and say, hey, so it's not a no, but they're requesting a physical therapy evaluation. They're requesting a walk study to see if they require oxygen. There could be different scenarios, but that hospital has to be willing to cooperate and keep you, even if it is an observation, long enough for the skilled facility to communicate with the insurance company effectively and give the insurance time to make a decision. And it is going to be best if they keep you in-house, because if they send the facility information and say, we're just going to discharge you home, most of the time the insurance company is going to say, well, if the hospital didn't see a need to keep them, even for observation, we don't see a need to approve skilled nursing. So I am happy to give you additional information on that. Just let me know what you need. Hope that helps.